Oh, look, stranger danger. There's a new face on here. Oh, wait a minute. I was just gone last week. First of all, welcome everybody in the chat. Good to see you guys. Jason, Bruce, good to see y'all again.
Nice to have you back, Mike.
I want to apologize. I want to apologize to both you guys. I couldn't turn up the opportunity. They offered me double time, and if you hadn't noticed, there's a different view and maybe even a clearer picture. All that money went towards getting myself a computer to where I could, maybe be a little bit more presentable and get off the iPhone. But I do want to apologize to you guys and apologize to Ed, the guest you guys had last week. What a great interview. You guys did an awesome job. I mean, I don't even know why you have me on here anymore. You guys did a great job. And
Joe helped out. Big Joe helped out.
I got just fixing to say Joe was awesome. Thank you to him for filling in for me. That was awesome. You guys did a really, really good job. And happy to be back this week. And then with the new computer, we're going to try to figure it out. But thanks again, guys, for doing such an awesome job. Great show.
No problem. It was fun. It was great having Ed on here.
He's awesome.
Ed's a really good guy. The more you talk to Ed, I really enjoyed it. I mean, me and Bruce, even afterwards, we probably could have went another couple hours, but I mean, it's work night.
He had little bitty tidbits just kept popping out.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Really awesome.
TJ says I need to back my camera up at least another 20 feet. I'm ugly. Well, can't get past that, bud.
That's how you move it forward.
Right.
Who are we anyway?
Oh, I'm sorry. I probably should have led with that. I think. See, I'm rusty. Right?
He forgot. That's all that.
1 week off, he can't do nothing now.
He's got sunstroke because he was actually wrenching today. So
yeah,
dude, no joke. Look at how burnt I am.
Holy moly!
That'll be peeling. I'll be a snake here in a day or so. But yeah, I was out there really getting it today. Bolts that you don't want to chase rabbits, but we were working on an excavator today, and you put 4 bolts that were holding the stuff on that we were taking off, and just like set them up there. But the pieces were extreme. But yeah, definitely out in the sun today.
So who are you, Mike?
I'm sorry, guys. Welcome to the AMC Livecast. It is Mike, the Scale Model Outlaw, and my co-host.
I'm Jason from Klein Race Car Designs, and then we've got our great producer over here.
Oh, there he is.
And I'm Bruce, and Bruce is Eclectic-World. And whoops, that's the new guy.
You're right on the new guys.
we got Joe's twin brother over here.
No, don't. Joe will shoot you if he hears you say that. And I wouldn't blame him.
I don't think he's in the chat. There he is.
He's already in.
He's already
in. But so
let's roll out those social media shout outs and we can get our awesome guest on here.
Awesome guest. We have a guest this week?
Oh, yes. We got a good one. We've got another good one.
I'm having visions of a blue cowboy. Maybe are we having a cowboy on this week?
No, that's the AI guest that we're going to have on
AI guest. Yeah.
Dang it, I was excited about that blue cowboy.
Let's go ahead and run the shout out. Then we get the blue cowboy on too, maybe.
Right. Chat, you'll understand that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
But there we go, hanging with.
All right. So that's mine right there. That's Mr. G Seeds, Gary Seeds. I'm sure a lot of you have watched Gary's channel, but you got to go if you haven't. Go subscribe to him. I am currently watching this channel a lot because I want to step up my painting game big time. So Gary does some extravagant work on 1-to-1 scale stuff and his models. So I'm definitely watching a lot of his videos right now. So that's why I wanted to do a social media shout out for him. And he's also a great fine member of the Coast to Coast Model Club. So if you haven't already, go over there and check out Hanging with Mr. G Seeds and tell him the AMC show sent you.
Yeah, he's great. His painting is outstanding.
Beautiful.
His builds are great too. Don't get me wrong, but his paint work is above the above, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Next one.
Hey, that would be me, Mr. Dylan from NYS Modeling. Dylan is I haven't met him personally, but I've had a couple chats with him. If you look up the top up there, that green Volkswagen Bug that he built, I was building my Bug along about the same time that he was building his, and he finished up before I did. And when he did finish up, I thought I should probably just toss mine in the trash can. He's a great builder. Big fan of MCV products and JR Salvino's. Great channel. He does great builds, everything from his paint to his custom work. Great guy. Very detailed on his explanations and stuff. I think he does a really good job there, and his production's really well. So go check out Dylan at NYS Modeling.
That's cool. I love Dylan's work too. I see just now, I haven't watched any of his videos lately. I see he's got a printed tractor.
I'm gonna say that's an MCV. Yours an MCV too?
Oh, I printed this one. This is a engine Hemi.
Matt from Matthew Inman from NCV just came out with that one, which is the Allison.
That's cool.
He has one that has the 2 jet turbines, and probably, I don't know for a fact, but probably the same print as yours with the 5 Emmys on it. So he's got 3 different ones that are really, really nice. We got Rob Ribs already in the house. He's talking about our guest is not authorized. Rob, relax. The check's in the mail.
Check's in the mail.
Mikey's paying the check.
That's it. It'll bounce just like the last one. Who's up next?
This is my shout out this week is small cars. This gentleman does live in the United States, but he's an awesome gentleman from Jamaica, and he is literally building a truck, an international semi from scratch, every bit of it.
Nice.
Cool.
Talk about straight scratch building. This guy is amazing. He's been over a year doing this.
And that is so
go over and give him a like, a share, subscribe. Tell him the AMC Livecast sent you. And watch all the videos. You will be totally amazed. I think he's only got like 19 videos. And it's all about the truck.
That is so cool. And those of you that do scratch building, I try, but I am not a scratch builder. But those of you that do scratch building know how difficult that is.
Oh, he is at a level that you don't believe. I mean, when you can take scratch build whole engines.
Yeah, that's work. Right.
And that's our shout outs for the week.
Awesome. Them social media shout outs are awesome, man. Well, we've kind of touched on it a little bit, fellas. We do have a really cool guest tonight, a good friend of mine. Well, I guess we'll just probably be best, Bruce, just to roll that beautiful bean footage and bring him forward, right?
Right.
Here
we go.
Do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, the greatest thing to come out of Canada since Canadian bacon, Mr. Frankie.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great being here.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome to the show. Great builds, dude. You build a little bit of everything, don't you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I like the Walker. That was cool.
You know, that's the first time I did one of those, a Mach A kit, and I was pretty proud of that build. And I actually, I just won gold with it at Heritage Con, which is our big show up here in Canada. Heritage Con is kind of like our nationals, without being a nationals. But I scored a gold in Mecca and Mach A with that Custer. That was a sweet build.
That's
Sweet.
awesome.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, for those, go ahead.
I gotta say, all of your guys on that Insanity show, all your guys' paintwork and detail work is just tremendous, really tremendous. Yeah.
Well, you know, like that's why we got together, right? It was like-minded individuals just ended up getting together and just sharing a love of the hobby, really, at the end of the day, and getting each other to be better builders, just working together.
It definitely shows. It definitely shows for sure.
Absolutely. Well, for those of you that don't know, Frank is a member of the Insanity Model Podcast. Riv was on here a while ago underneath his security name, Juggy something or other, and he was like,
"That is."
he said this was unauthorized, but I got to check in the mail to him, so I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, he was yelling at me about this being an unsanctioned guest appearance, that I didn't pay the proper respects, but he likes to call me his wartime consigliere. So sometimes I got to make decisions for the boss. I made this decision.
Well, we like to start off with the same question, and like we were talking about behind stage, we kind of start off with the same question and see where it rolls from there. So the stereotypical, what got you into the hobby? How'd you get started? We obviously seen some of your builds. Tell us the history of Frankie D.
Well, it was my dad who got me into the hobby, mostly because he had no idea what to do with me. I'm an Army brat. So I was born in Germany. I lived in Germany and Holland my first 15, 16 years for most of those years. And bopping around, for any Army brats that are out there, you know, right? You got no friends. Sometimes you got to move in the middle of the school year. I remember in 78, I'm in Germany. I'm in a village called Niederschopfheim. There's 2,000 people and 5 English-speaking kids in the whole town. And so, you know, just to have something to do, my dad went to the Canucks, which is our version for the Canadian Army, our version of the PX, and picked me up a Matchbox ME-109 aircraft. It's mostly Matchbox kits and some Airfix. So I got started into airplanes. So while I'm, you know, settling in, learning the language, starting to make friends, finally going to school, I got into the airplanes and stuff. And then about 81, I visited my cousin who was in outside of London, and he was doing the same as me. His dad was an exec and everywhere, and he ended up going to a hobby store. And he goes, "Come with me," and we went in, and there were these Tamiya kits. I'm like, "Oh, what is this?" And with our limited means, we picked up a couple of I think it was the 75 millimeter gun and an AA gun. And we started building them, and that's when I was like, "Oh, I like this. I like this more than the planes." You know. And then once we got back to Canada, found a couple of hobby stores in Ottawa where I was living, and just started with the inexpensive, the old kits from the 70s, right? Mostly Tamiya when I had a chance. But then, like every red-blooded boy, right? Beer, girls, weed.
We politely call it T's and T's here.
Yeah.
Something in tires.
So Justin always likes to go with T's and P's. They mean something different up here. So it was the T's and P's here. Didn't do that for, I guess I didn't model until about 03, 04. Had a new house with the wife. There's the 4th kid showed up, and job was stressful. I got promoted, right? So I was in the fire service. I was doing fire investigation as a fire prevention officer, and lots of shift work. So I needed something for some balance. And I said, you know what? I really loved doing the hobby. And I used to be a big war gamer. So I still, involved in the World War II war gaming and stuff like that. So I picked up the Hanamag and a buddy of mine gave me his old airbrush, and just sitting in the basement, piddling along in between shifts late at night, I just got right back into it. And the love of armor never left, and I like armored fighting vehicles, stuff like that. But I've always been a sci-fi geek. Blade Runner is one of my favorite movies. Aliens, Star Wars, Star Trek. So now
Nice.
bridging into the Bandai kits for sci-fi stuff, and working through that, and actually been posting on the Luca page because I've been doing a bunch of braille scale trucks.
Yeah.
So
That's
Nice.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Yeah, I'll never forget being on the Discord with you and Sean and a couple others one night. I told everybody that I have never watched a Star Wars movie from front to back, and I thought I was going to get kicked off of the Discord. I just never. Not that I wasn't into it. I just never watched it. Now, Frank, are you? Do you guys have, like? I assume that the IPMS is up there in Canada, and are you part of that, or do you participate in any of that? Or yes,
I am. Yeah, I am. I recently was actually the national director for IPMS Canada, but just life made it a little too much for me to take that on. But I'm my local chapter president, so I'm the president for IPMS London here in London, Ontario, which is Southwest Ontario. So we're
Okay.
like on a map. If you look, we're like halfway between Detroit and Buffalo, if you will. If you just go up from Lake Erie there, and you'll find us. And I'll tell you, my club, I think we're at about 68 members in our club, and without fail, probably one of the most diverse clubs that I know of, because on any given month when we bring in our builds, we have everything. We got plane guys, car guys, truck guys, figure guys, miniature guys, space guys, everything. So if you ever go to the IPMS London Facebook page and you see our build, our meeting night where we show what's on display, it's everything, and some world-class modelers that go up there. We just had our meeting yesterday, and I mentioned Heritage Con. I know Duncan won, I think, a silver and a bronze. Kerry won 2 silvers and a bronze, and those guys in aircraft, submarines. Dave Blappy-Gertin, who might be known by some people that are in the world of 3D prints and resin kits. He ended up like winning 4 or 5 with some incredible builds. He took a Star Trek shuttle, and he turned it into basically a wrecker. So he took the shuttle and like a wrecker truck, flatbed, and then he had another spacecraft on top, and they were all painted in the Gulf racing colors.
Oh,
That's
right.
awesome.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I think he won a gold or silver. I'm pretty sure it was a gold with that. Absolutely amazing stuff, right? So, like the club, super talented, super engaged. So we do that. We have IPMS. We had an AMPS chapter, but AMPS just never seems to gain a lot of traction up north of the border. Out west, there's a very active chapter. There used to be an annual show in the Toronto area for AMPS, but it's not as big. Lots of car guys though. Like,
yeah, for those of us that don't know, Frank, and maybe some people in the chat don't know, and I don't think I know exactly what it stands for, but tell us what AMPS is and what it focuses on.
So AMPS is the Armor Model Preservation Society. So it was created in the early 90s, and it's basically to support armored fighting vehicles. So artillery, tanks, armored vehicles, trucks, stuff like that. So that's sort of their focus. They are including the mecha, the Gundam stuff, because they're armored robot warrior things. So that's starting to show up. Yeah, but I will say, like, I'm not a big car guy, and I even as a kid, like, I never was a gearhead as a kid, right? Cars were a tool to get to the girls, but this is like where I'm living. I'm smack dab in the middle of, like, this is like the auto center for Canada, right? We got, because Windsor at Detroit, you've got Chrysler. I got a Volkswagen plant opening across the street from my house. We've got Toyota, Honda, Ford, GM. They're all in this Southwest Ontario section. So the auto hobby is really well supported around here. So amazing clubs and some really, really good shows down in the Windsor area, Windsor, Detroit. really big. So in our club, we've always got some really amazing car guys. So respect for that, because it's not a. I've tried to do the cars, and it's just it's just not for me, right?
And I can relate to that, Jason. I'm sure you can too. Bruce is kind of like you. He builds a little bit of everything, but me and Jason are car centric, if you will. We're not afraid to reach out and try something new, which is, I think it's cool. But Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, is, when you see them, it's like if you got a choice between, if your budget's $25 and you're looking at a car or a tank, you're like, this one's good.
I'm definitely like that. I agree with Mikey. I'm very car centric, but there again, I think that's the upbringing too. So for me, my dad was a car club founder, and then very big in doing classic cars, and had his cars in like Hot Rod magazine in the day. So you grew up in it. So like with you grew up as an Army child. So the armor stuff is, in your deep thought. So
yeah, my dad was posted with the Dragoons, which is our armored unit in Europe, right? So I was in LAR. Yep. Dad was with the RCD. So family day in 1979, us kids, we would sit around and we would fill 30 mag clips with blanks. And if you filled your own clip, you got to shoot the 30 cal GPMG.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's 10-year-old Frankie, right? And go for rides in the Leopard 1 and in the M113. We had a lot of M113s or the M577, which are the different half tracks and the command half tracks. So like when I go visit Dad at work, you just go play in the back of the tank, sort of thing, right? And yeah, that's the environment you grow. My dad was not a shade tree mechanic, and it was just that was a tool for us, but the other stuff was what really attracted us.
Right. Yeah. I think I'm on board with Jason with that. I never was surrounded by airplanes or armor, so I never could, I appreciated them. I seen them, I thought they were cool, but it wasn't something that, I saw this at such and such, and now I want to build one. For me, it was more, I saw this cruising down the road, and I think it's really cool. I want to build one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My father is a Vietnam vet, so like, when it comes to airplanes, real airplanes, the mechanicals, I love that. That's my thing. I love all the mechanical things of airplanes and stuff, especially the older stuff. My dad's a big P-51 guy. He loves those things. So when you go to like air shows, I definitely respect it. But to me, when I look at models, I think I lose the patience of trying to incorporate all that detail of an airplane, because I don't know it all by heart like I do cars, But I definitely appreciate what you do, for sure.
Yeah, just like me with car guys, and so like at Heritage Con for the last couple of years, not this year but before, I would judge cars, right? Because I don't have a dog in that hunt, so it was good for me. But this is the finish work. I'm not used to, like, I do armor, so scratch and dent sales, right? But the finish work on some of the stuff and is absolutely stunning, and I love that stuff. And some of the guys would, when they put it on the mirror so you can see the underside, and a lot of respect and a lot of appreciation for the work. That's what I go to see, right? Is the beauty of the kit, and then really appreciate the effort that someone's put in. And I'll be honest, I don't know what I like best, so I'll build everything because I don't know. Right. So I've built a car, so it's not really my thing, but I tried it, right? I started to build a Gundam, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. When you showed the montage, I did figures for Warhammer for 40K. Those were my sons, and I was just, let me make them look good for you. So I painted them up. I figured he'd be the only kid on the block with them painted. But I painted them up, but that was practice for me painting. Now my son has, he's got about $3,800 worth of 40K on a shelf behind me over here, right? Because I gave him the gateway drug. So I still like doing that. Like he did an artillery piece. He's like, I don't want to paint this, Dad. So I'll give her a go. Made it look the way he wanted, but I always say I'll give it a try, right? I've got a flying boat. I did one airplane. I did a Stuka. It's okay, but I got a flying boat I want to try out, right? I got a Black Cat, an Academy 72nd scale Catalina PBY Black Cat, and a German Dornier Do. I think it's a 16 from Revell that I want to try, and just because I don't know, I like ships. I did a ship. I'm like, hey, I like this. I got 6 ship kits now because I thought that was kind of fun. So I always tell people, just try something. Get a crappy old kit and see if you like it. And if you like it, hey, be the ship guy, be the plane guy.
Real quick, Marcy, we know her as Marcy. She's the Scale Model Muse. Made a comment that I agree with that rolls over to what you're saying. Not all cars are shiny. Now, I'm a shiny guy. Jason's a shiny guy, but the Bruce is not.
Bruce is
not. So, would you say that some of the rust and some of the patina look, rolls over, came from?
Yeah. There's so much that we can all learn from each other, right? But I mean, exactly. As soon as we talked about that, I remember selecting, I don't know if it got first or second, the guy did a wrecker, right? And he did it as a, so some back town in the Louisiana swamps. It's wetted out, it's rusted, it's dusty, it's dirty, right? And fantastic. And I think that's the one nice thing is we can all learn from each other, whether it's how to do a good finish, right? Like I don't do a lot of sci-fi stuff, but if I want a nice clean finish, like my buddy Dave Blapp, he is the master of the absolutely super clean gloss, and so I'll go talk to him. But schmutz, as I call it, the schmutz. I'm fun with the schmutz, and that's my problem. Is like I try to. Well, you look at that, Custer kit I talked about, that walking Mach A kit. Right, I dirtied it all up because that's just the way I like it. So, but
that process. I'm sorry, I love that process of doing that.
Yeah, me too. And the problem is Bruce, is when do you stop? Right? When do you say
exactly? It's like when is good enough good enough? As the question goes.
Yeah.
You get in a rhythm, and all of a sudden you've been there 2 hours. This thing just looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I'll spend more time just weathering it up than the build, right? I'm known for being a bit of a quick builder. I don't know why. I just get in the zone and I'm pretty fast putting it together. The paint, I'm an okay painter. I paint pretty good, but I really like making it look well loved. That's the term I go for, right? So, but you're right. What do you stop with? And you've heard us say it on our podcast. We say it we're in a golden age for the hobby right now.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We have never had such a wealth of products. And now, granted, a lot of these products are just the same thing we used 30 years ago, but more convenient. But at the same time, especially for beginners, right, that might be afraid to experiment or try some of the weird stuff we did using plaster of Parises and enamels and things like that. The fact that there's products coming out of Spain, coming out of the States, coming out of Asia that help us to do this, I think is absolutely fantastic. I just love it.
Yep. Well, and then you look at the internet age of modeling now with the podcast, the YouTube channel like we're on right now. I mean, what a great tool for people to get over fears of trying it, because they can watch these types of shows or listen to the talk shows.
Yep.
I think I love it. I'm really enjoying it. So
absolutely, I agree with you. Definitely. Yeah. Watch a video or what? There's so much information out there. Speaking of information,
it's time.
Exactly right. We're about 30 minutes into it, so we want to roll our little commercial. We call it the commercial / pee break, but from our awesome sponsors. It's usually me that has to go.
I'm just going to empty this and fill it back up again. Right. So go ahead.
Go for it.
But our good friend Josh from BCG Resins and Chris from Scale Speed Garage. Let's run that beautiful bean footage, Bruce.
Let's go for it.
back, and he's
Like
not.
he's still leaking. Which Frank's probably used to this when he's in the Discord. He's always disappearing.
You know what the best part about him in the Discord is that he says things, and then some of the northern boys have no clue. The other day he was like, well, son, that's why you don't drive a train down a dirt road. And there were 3 guys that stopped and just looked at the camera and said,
We can relate.
That's funny.
he's a lot of fun. Some of the guys rig on him for being a car guy, but Mikey and I, we get along just fine in the room. Actually, we work off each other really well. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Remember, you got to put the catheter in before the show, Mike.
I had to wait in line. 2-bathroom house, and I still had to wait in line, and the sun's still shining, so I couldn't use my old reliable, which of course is the backyard. But there's kids out there on a trampoline, so I wasn't going out there for that.
You just got the ankle monitor off, right? So.
Just didn't get the ankle monitor right. So you know me too well, Frankie. You know me too well.
Well, I knew you in my cowboy phase, so
right. We kind of, I know you were backstage when we talked about that, but funny story. Frank, it was a AI thing or something. How did that go?
Somebody sent me something on Instagram, and I have Instagram, but I know our Snapchat, and then I just started looking at all the stupid things it does to you.
Right.
So one of them was a cowboy. So I thought of you. I said, I gotta do something So I went. I said, oh, put me as a cowboy, and it did it. And I was like a gay Glenn Campbell is the only way to describe it.
It was so far removed from the real Frankie that it was just hilarious. It was removed as far as it could be, but yet it was like, that's still Frankie.
Yeah, that was still me. Damn, he's good looking.
Right.
I was sweating.
That big earring hanging down. He was all in blue. It was pretty funny.
Well, I sent Adams one where I have a unicorn horn that kind of comes out of my head and goes fling, right? And I sent it to him saying, "This is how happy I am. You're coming to visit in May." So all I got from him was WTF? Question.
There's another one. We had Rob Adams on here. What a great guy. Again, another awesome builder. We've had Riv on here. I think the only 2 that we haven't had is Tooch and Justin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tooch and I are the stable ones. That's as we like to call ourselves.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed. Tooch is a great guy, full of history, lots of knowledge there, just like yourself. You guys got a lot going on.
Yeah. I love these guys. And that's how we like. I met Adams about 6 years ago. Actually, we connected when he started his group MMI. I was one of the first 500 on his Facebook page, and we were using Messenger at the time because Messenger was still supporting group chats, and he and I ended up hanging out. So it's been 6 years now, and the great part is last year we got to see each other. So not spilling any beans, but so last year I got approached to do a TV show on the Scale Hobby.
Oh, nice.
So Rob and I ended up getting a trip to Toronto, and we did a 2-day TV shoot for a reality show where you're supposed to build models in X amount of time.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was a pilot. So we did the pilot, and so it was great because we hung out for a week. We did the show. We were in Toronto. He'd never been, and Toronto it's the big smoke. It's our New York City, right? It's 5 million people in the area, in the Greater Toronto area. And Adams was like,
right.
he was taking pictures of buildings because he'd never seen 53-story towers, right? And he was the country mouse. He really was. And so we did the show, hung it at my house for a bit, and then drove to South Bend, Indiana to attend AMPS for a week, where I got a concussion, and Rob ended up getting.
Which one of y'all fell in the fire?
He fell at the fire pit off the hot tub, but he was just drinking. And that was the day I ran into the ceiling. So I ended up concussing myself I had a good concussion for about 6-7 months.
Oh, wow.
It was great. So this is what happens when you leave us unsupervised. And then so we ended up like 2 solid weeks with each other, which really cemented that previous 4 years. So, I mean, we're
So a picture for some of the chat guys, and honestly for myself. I know that if we had to draw a parallel, that Adams basically lives above Montana, kind of like kind of straight up from Montana. And you are.
I am just north of Lake Erie.
Okay, so you're kind of more like on the New York side. So from Montana to New York, you guys got a big gap in between you.
Yeah, it's about a 22-hour drive if I want to go and visit with him.
Oh, nice. Wow. That's all.
Yeah. So he's and in Canada, right? I know some places in the States to do it, but I saw a European person say, he goes, the weird thing about Canada is we do distances in hours. Right? Like people go, how far are you from Toronto? About an hour. Yeah. Not 100 clicks, about an hour. He's about 22-hour drive. Yeah, I could go see him, but it would be a while.
For those of you, for me, it's 24 hours from where I'm at here in Central Florida to Vermont. So it's basically the whole length of the East Coast. It's a pretty good chunk in there. But you guys were together here not too long ago. Was that Heritage Con that he flew over?
Yeah, so he got an extra trip. So he came here about 3 weeks ago. He had never been to Heritage Con, wants to do it once. So he showed up, whirlwind romantic weekend. He showed up on Friday. I worked, I taught. I'm a college prof, so I taught. And then as soon as classes were done, drove to Toronto, picked him up, hugged, we laughed, we cried, we shared. Got him his weed and his beer. Then we went to my house.
That's Rob.
Spent the Saturday hanging out. Went to a friend's place, a mutual friend from the Discord, and then went to Heritage Con. And then, like literally, 6 o'clock in the morning on the road Monday. Took him to the airport, and then I didn't even stay. I didn't even slow the car down. I just let him out, rolled it, and I got to work with about 15 minutes to spare. So. And he'll be back down again on the 11th of May. We're going to AMPS for 5 days in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Are you doing any shows here in the States?
Yeah, so we were going to do IPMS Nationals in Virginia Beach, but with everything that's going on in the world right now. And our biggest concern is our dollar really took a shot, and it had been kind of on the downward trend for a little while. So it's really expensive for us to travel now. And so I said maybe if we go sooner than later, and Camp Hill is closer. It's half the distance, so less on gas. It's a shorter trip. It's a shorter stay. The hotel is a little bit cheaper than what we normally do, which is an Airbnb. So it just kind of worked out well for us, and the entire podcast is going to be there. So we only seem to get together about once a year, the 5 of us in person. So it's kind of it was the sort of the easier, quicker alternative for right now.
Well, that leads into talking about the 5 of y'all only get together every once in a while. Myself, Jason, and Bruce have never met face to face. So this year at Acme, which is I'm trying to tie that in there. Acme is in Atlanta. And that's a show that has the armor, the aircraft, the cars, has a little bit of everything. You get the opportunity to come to that show. It's right around Halloween, give or take a day or two or a weekend or two. Mm-hmm. But you guys get the opportunity to come down there. I don't think you'd be a bit disappointed. It's a great show. And of course, we'd love to have you. This year, Bruce is going to be able to make it. Jason's coming. I'll be there. We're going to do the AMC live cast from there. We probably won't be in the I'm working on it. I got to talk to Fred a little bit, but we might be able to do it from the event itself. But if we can't, we can always. The really neat thing about that show is the host hotel is like 5 minutes walk. You walk out the back of the hotel and you're at the event center. So it's like right there.
Nice.
So that's really, really nice to be able to do.
Yeah. We'll be doing some interviews at AMPS. We haven't done the live thing yet. As you know, we just started our YouTube channel. Right. So Rob's got a few videos up. Adam's got a video up. I'm actually in the process of editing my first video to get up there. It's a box, just doing an open box. Mm-hmm. But we're going to try to do this, like maybe not. I don't think we're going to be doing the 5 of us. It's a bit too much with guests and stuff popping in. But I'm thinking like some of us will, like 2 or 3 of us will pair off, and we'll do the occasional stream on a build evening and hang out with some folks, have some shenanigans.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the Insanity Podcast TV on YouTube.
Yeah, yep, that's it. And then of course, and you know, if anyone ever wants, like, and we always advertise it. I mean, we don't do Patreon, we don't do anything like that. That's how you found us, Mike. You just come to the Discord. Anyone and everyone is welcome. We're there most evenings, even during the day sometimes. I'm a prof, so I don't teach for 2 months in the summer, and Tooch has got a lot of time, so we do the day drinkers, where we get together and build during the daytime. And so, like, when, you know, the Discord is always on our Facebook page for the podcast, and if you're interested, to want to come and hang out with a bunch of guys, pretty eclectic bunch.
Yeah, it's a great one too. We got a couple car builders. I feel like Justin obviously and Rob do build cars, but we've got a couple exclusive car builders that go in there. In truth, I found you guys from the Model Car Podcast. Our good friends BG, Jason, and Chuck, and of course Luca.
Yep.
We found you guys. That's how I first heard about you. And I know you guys, everybody here knows the story, and probably most people in chat do too. I run a bulldozer for a living, so I'm sitting on a bulldozer pushing dirt 10 hours, 12 hours a day. So I went back, before I ever listened to the first podcast, the Insanity Podcast, I went back to the first one and listened to them all the way through. And what a great way to build, the characters. You start learning about the people and how it changes, and it's really, 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 really cool.
Yeah.
But we are huge fans. All of us collectively are huge fans of the Insanity, and of course the Model Car Podcast. We love those guys, man. They just there's such a synergy between those two groups. So,
what's up,
Speaking of Model Car Podcast?
Oh, go ahead and run that one.
We got one to run for them too.
And I'm not going to the bathroom this time, so I'll be here when we get back.
Oh, come on.
I'll be right back.
And here's that awesome bean footage.
Hey, we should host another group build sponsored by the podcast.
Sure, but it needs to be a race car this time.
Yeah, something that can race on asphalt or dirt.
And night and different types of weather. That would be pretty cool.
And can fly.
Wait, what?
What you talking about, BG?
Hey, I got it. Rally cars.
Yes.
What date should we run the build for?
How about January 31st? It can start and go to December 31st. That's a good amount of time.
Sure, I can work with that.
Okay, but I gotta say, I'm a little concerned about the defying gravity thing. I haven't had much luck in that lately.
Join the Scale Model Car Podcast 2025 Rally Cool Rally Car Group Build and build that rally car model kit that's been sitting on your shelf ever since you brought it home from the hobby store and said, I'm gonna build that one day, because now is your chance.
That's awesome commercial.
I love that commercial. Frank, you're probably not familiar, but you know Chuck from the Scale Model Car Podcast. And I'm sure you have them in your genre, the aircraft and the armor as well. There's always that one kit that's, the mold or the castings are old. It's not the greatest kit in the world. Well, we have one. It's the 67 GTO. It's like historically known for being really, really, I won't say bad kit. I'm going to say a really, really tough kit to put together. I personally, flashy, warped. I mean, there's some stuff going on with it. Yeah, I don't like to use the word bad kit, because I think any kit's a good kit. Is just got to work with it, and as long as it's out there, at least it's out there. But anyway, they had a group build off, knowing that it was a challenging build. They had a group build off, and Chuck did an amazing job on this 67 GTO.
The second one, yep. The first one he threw in the trash can when he got back in the hobby, but this one that he built for the group build, he did a really, really good job on it. A lot of 3D printed parts. Really took a turd and turned it into a diamond is what he did. I got lucky enough to see the car, but he was going to do the reveal video on it, and apparently it was up on a high shelf. And as he was taking it down, it took a ride. And it bounced off everything on its way down.
Oh.
To hear Chuck tell it, it ended up when it finally hit the floor and stopped moving, it was in more parts than when it was a kit, right? When it was still on the sprue.
But so that's the comedy behind the I've been having trouble with that whole defying gravity thing.
Yeah, I feel the pain. I did an article on, I used inks. So I airbrushed inks for the first time. So I did an article for IPMS Canada magazine up here, and the kit I was very proud of the kit. It was going to go to a few shows. I wanted to show it off. And then my cat was down here and didn't appreciate my work. And so the next thing you know, I hear, and my floor is concrete. I'm in the basement, and that was it. It was gone. So I feel the pain. Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, right? Because like I'm known as the shitty kit builder, right? I like to buy the old unloved stuff. That's a little cheaper. That's the Dutch in me. A little bit cheaper, with the old 80s, 90s, Eastern European kits that, have really weird subject models, and the challenge of making those come together. Because you'll hear us talk about, like Adams will always say, I ain't got time for shitty kits. And so he always shakes his head at me. But my rationale is some of these old kits are stuff that you don't see anymore, right? Where, like the vehicles are rarities, right? That were never duplicated, and I want a chance to see what they look like and give that kit an opportunity and flex my muscles a little bit, right? And get my skill, get better. Sure. So I like those. I don't like modern kits, new ones, like new builds that don't go together well. Like I'm not a fan of Tacom's King Tigers because they don't fit. They're brand new kits. They're $80. They're not cheap. And I just think that they could have done a better job on those. Not saying they're all bad, but the King Tigers I'm not happy with. So that irritates me because I spent a lot of money. But if I spend $5 on an old ICM 1/72nd scale and can throw it together and make it look half decent, I'm pretty stoked. That's the one thing I really like to do, right? And and you talk about that car kit. If anyone's an airplane guy, you just got to say Revell P61 Black Widow.
Same thing.
That's just everyone's absolute. It's a shit kit, and so. And it's always for sale at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's the one airplane, right? And the thing I hate is, and one of the things we try to promote when we talk anywhere is, try to steer people to who are coming into the hobby new, steer them to the good kits, the ones that will be an easier build.
So they don't get discouraged, right?
So it's enjoyable, yeah.
Yeah, so that your first experience is a positive experience. And from there, you can move on, right? So for armor guys, like if anyone's interested in armor, right, Tamiya kits are always rock solid builds that you can put together. A little less in the detail sometimes, but phenomenally engineered, great builds. But for real good armor, I tell everyone, put $25 up here in Canada. Trumpeter makes what we call the red box KV tank. It's a Russian tank called the KV, Clemente Voroshilov. The box sides are red. They're pretty cheap. Absolutely rock solid. Comes with some wire, comes with a metal barrel a lot of times, 2 types of track, and probably one of the best building experiences if you want to try a new genre.
Well, that leads right into one of the questions that Jason likes to ask on every show. Take it over.
What is your favorite model kit brands in order, 1 through 5?
1 through 5. Well, I think right now, Ryfield model RFM is probably in the world of armor one of the best. Their kits are fantastic. I'm going to throw Tamiya number 2 because basically RFM is just a little bit more detailed Tamiya kits for fit and finish. They're not all perfect, but RFM hits it out of the box all the time. Really, really nice multimedia kits. Then Tamiya, I'd have to throw Bandai Namco in next. I like the Star Wars kits when they had the license. You guys know that I do. I've done the Mach-E kits, and so I like Bandai Namco for their kits. Number 4, I'm gonna have to say Mini Art. Mini Art, not for the faint of heart, right? I would never recommend a Mini Art kit to anyone new to the hobby, especially to armor kits. Hyper detailed, over engineered, over complicated, but the end product when it's done is absolutely fantastic, but very challenging. And then my last is AFV Club, which is a company out of Taiwan that does really great kits too. Bit of a 1970s plastic. The plastic's a bit brittle. You got to be careful with them, but very detailed, great kits. But
Nice.
Those are mine. And again, right? But I mean, the list goes on. Aoshima, Hasegawa. There's so many good. We're in a land of riches. I pick those because I focus on armored fighting vehicles, tanks, and the sci-fi stuff. So
Yep.
I'll go with them. It's easier to ask me, what are the companies I would avoid sometimes, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah.
TJ brought it up. TJ brought it up, the Edward stuff. Now, I've never built an Edward kit, but I'm here to tell you, as a car builder, and I know we have a lot of car builders in the chat, the Edward seatbelts,
yeah,
by far the best on the market. And I've got really good friends in the 3D printing. I know Jason does 3D printing, but I'm here to tell you, those things are amazing. I really, really, really like the Edward. I don't know nothing about their kits. I've never built any of their kits.
I know about their kits. I built one years ago, but they're Profi packs. Like the MiG-21 is an aircraft I really like, and so Edward's got a Profi pack, which is sort of it's got everything in it for the MiG-21. They're a great manufacturer. Somebody had mentioned, World War I aircraft. Edward does a good job, but Wingnut wings are amazing. And even I'd say check out Copper State models. Copper State is making, and we're talking World War I vehicles and aircraft. Copper State is really coming up with some amazing stuff. You heard us talking about the motorcycle with the motorcycle that they got. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, the wings. What'd you call it? The what?
Wingnut wings.
I've heard you guys talk about them as well. That everybody in the Discord that does that sort of building really those are like top shelf.
Yeah, they really are. You can't beat those. I know in the car world you probably have some kits or some aftermarket guys that are the cat's meow.
Yeah.
And then you've got your regular field. But in this thing, right? It's the golden age. I mean, we're not even going to talk about 3D printing,
right?
And in our world, like turned aluminum barrels and photo etch and all the doodads we can get. It's every month. Like when we do new kits in the news, every month, we've always got stuff to talk about, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's a great time to be in the hobby, and it's a great time to try to get more people into the hobby.
I agree.
I got a question for you. So as somebody I just did my first armor vehicle during the turkey shoot, and I definitely got an itch now to do more ground vehicles. I love, tanks and stuff like that. Where do you guys get your tank tracks? Because like the Tamiya ones, those rubber ones, they really did not do it for me,
So never discount the ease of use of rubber band tracks, because Tamiya, first of all, makes, along with Academy, makes the nicest rubber band tracks that come with a kit. If you do an Academy kit, you'll see the tracks are actually really good.
Okay.
But for aftermarket, Demon Barber Design does amazing track kits. I've used Scale Color tracks. Now, Scale Color was just bought out by Squadron. So if you go to Squadron and you see their line of Scale Color resin tracks, fantastic. Some people like metal, so they'll buy Feruli tracks. Model casting. There's a lot. The more popular ones are, I would say, Demon Barber, T-Rex, Trumpeter makes tracks. It's there's quite a few companies out there. What I would say is, if you're going to build a tank and you want to buy aftermarket, ask one of us, and we can give you, because some are a little better than others. And also you have to be careful, right? Because unless you want to make more work for yourself, you got to make sure to buy tracks that have been fitted to the drive sprocket.
Okay.
And are appropriate, right? Because if you do a Tiger tank, you've got early, mid, and late tracks. You've got transport tracks. If you're doing World War II German stuff, you've got regular tracks. You've got Usketten. You've got Winterketten, right? And so what are you trying to do? And then making sure you've got the right ones that work together. But
so in other words, we call you.
Yeah, come to the Discord.
Come to the Discord and say, "Hey, I need these," and
Right.
we will assault you with stuff. Like, you know,
These
like,
OP.
you know, Rob did this kit here. I'll just show you real quick. So Rob built this kit. I'm going to do a box review on it. This is a
cool
Magic Factory Puma. And when he built it, he said the smoke launchers are horrible. Great kit, horrible smoke launchers. The gates on them are so thick that when you go to cut them, you'll destroy them. So,
aftermarket.
No, you call your best friend with a 3D printer, and this is 72nd scale. So I know it's hard to see on the camera, but I've got 8 sets of 72nd scale smoke dischargers.
Nice.
Right and left-handed. And you can, like, these were printed from like a Cults 3D free file, or you can download them. But when it comes to the aftermarket, because a lot of us in like car guys are the same, right? A lot of aftermarket stuff out there.
Yep.
We'll hook you up. We'll definitely hook you up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bruce, do you have a question for Frank? I know you do a lot of the same stuff. Oh yeah, I thought you did too. I just didn't know if you had another one.
Well, I seen where on the, I think it was his website and our Facebook page. By the way, that's how I got all the pictures.
Stalker.
Did you build one of the Star Trek ships?
I did that as a turkey shoot build.
Okay, that was the
that was the one from
Voyager.
Oh my God, Voyager. It was the Voyager.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I think it was an AMT kit. A buddy of mine actually asked. He's a huge. This guy is such. He's got massive Star Trek tattoos, and so he's like, "Oh, I bought the kit thinking I'm going to throw it together." And there you go. And then I opened the box, and he said, "What the hell am I getting into?" So I built it for him. It was a quick weekend build. I think I spent more time putting decals than actually building and painting the thing.
Yeah.
But that was a cool experience. And I found out afterwards from my sci-fi buddies, like, "Oh, that's a shitty kit." And I could see, like, there were gaps, and I had some issues with it. But for just putting it on a shelf up high with all the Funko Pops and all the other memorabilia, yeah, it worked out pretty good. It was my first time I did a Star Trek thing. I will be doing more. Yeah.
Just a translation for the chat. I'm sure they got it, but decals is decals. It took me about 3 weeks to go into the Discord before I figured out what the heck they were talking about. I might just be the only dumb one with the coveralls and the hat. But.
I live in Minnesota, and I've heard that both ways my whole childhood: decals and decals. So
yeah, I hear it all the time because I have other friends that are from other parts of the world that's called decals.
Oh, in our room, it's constant, right? We got guys from the UK, Scotland. Well, when Keith from Scotland shows up, I have to translate for Riv. We got guys from New Zealand, and like my wife's French Canadian, so she comes down, and the guys are all like, "What'd she say?" So usually she's yelling at me in French for spending too much on the kits, but
that is another cool thing about the Model Insanity podcast Discord. There's people from all over the world.
Yep.
Everybody's accepting.
Yep.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, they're gonna pick on the car guys a little bit, but that's only because they love us, right? But what a great place to hang out. Now, Jason got his question in, Bruce got his question in. I got one for you that's a little bit deeper, but 3 most memorable moments in your model building career.
3 most memorable moments?
Yep.
I think the first one was when I figured out airbrushing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I had a Badger 100. I had just a noisy compressor, and I was living rurally. The internet was not like it is today. As a matter of fact, out in the middle of nowhere, I had line of sight internet, so it was sketchy. So it was figuring it out using, old issues of FSM magazine, Fine Scale Modeler magazine, and just messing about. But when I got the mixture right and it started to work, even just simple, 2-tone, that was probably one of the aha moments which really clicked it in with me.
Mm-hmm.
I think So I got called out to a fire. As I said, I was in the fire service. So I was investigating a fire in what would euphemistically be called a crack house on one weekend, and I think I was there at about 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm actually working with a district chief, and he was also a scale modeler. And it was funny because in the hobby stores they knew us as the fire guys. That's right. That's who we were. Me and John Gagno. And I remember I'm doing the fire scene, I'm working the fire, and I'm like just figured it out. I'm done. As I'm driving home, I decided to take a different route home. I wanted to get a coffee, and I drive past the Nepean Sportsplex, and there's a big sign there that says Capcom Model Show. And I'm like, what the hell? So I pull in, and I'm like, I stink, and I'm still in my somewhat uniform. And I go in, and there's a freaking model show starting. So what the hell's going on? So I find out. I'm like, oh shit! I get in my vehicle because it's the department vehicle. I drive home. I shower, change. I grab a couple model kits, drove back to the show, joined IPMS, went into the show, got called to another fire. So I buggered off to go to take care of that. I came back a couple hours later because it was a pretty simple one. And I won a silver.
Oh wow!
With the third model kit I built. I just got back in the hobby.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah.
And that's when I was like,
Nice.
and it was World War II Russian armor, so it wasn't a small category where I was the only guy. There was more than one tank in there, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm getting pretty good at this stuff. Like it was a bit of a validation, right?
Yeah.
That was another one for me where we just one, the community, because I was kind of doing it at home alone, and now I'm in a club that I didn't realize was there. The show, which was amazing for me because I'd never been to one before, so that was probably moment number 2 where that really got me into the community. And Ottawa has a really nice, vibrant community, and the only problem I had with Ottawa is there's about 5 or 6 world-class modelers. Like I'm talking guys who do nothing but commission builds for museums and right.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's a bit discouraging sometimes when you go up against guys that are building stuff that are literally like Hollywood movie quality stuff. But it was a great learning experience. It's those two, and I think the last one, and people were talking about it, like I never built models with my dad. He wasn't into it, right? He just figured it was something to keep his ADHD child, out of his hair, even though he didn't have any. Just stay out of my hair, kid.
Yeah.
I think it was when I put that first model kit together back in 1977, and I still remember because it was November. I had no friends, no family. Dad picked me up a kit. My mother was actually in Holland because we didn't have a place to live. I was I was actually boarded with another family because we had nowhere to stay, and so it was kind of miserable. And then we had our apartment, and Dad gave me that BF 109G from Matchbox, and I put it together by myself. It was the first time I'd ever done that, and I was hooked. Really,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Great story.
Yeah, great story for sure. I think we all inevitably remember our first build. Mine was that horrible 69 Camaro from Monogram, but getting on here, right? I mean, how many of us grew up and didn't know anybody that did the hobby? And again, back to the whole golden age thing, talking about going on here and talking about it. The first kit I built was that 69. Turns out that was the first kit for a lot of people that were in my age group. So, well. In respect for your time, Frank, we're about an hour into it, and we like to try to keep it around an hour.
Yeah,
a little, right around there somewhere. But if you guys got any questions you want to get in before we close out?
Well, I got one that I think the chat will enjoy too. What is your preferred brand of paint that you find yourself using the most?
Tamiya.
Tamiya.
Yeah, bulletproof. Now I have AK, Vallejo. I'm really getting into Mr. Hobby, right? Paints, the lacquers. But Tamiya is bulletproof. Mr. Surfacer is my friend, 1500.
Yeah.
But I will always have Tamiya paint, just because I've got it right. I've got it dialed in. Winter, summer, I get it right within a few spritz, and love the stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It's good stuff.
TJ's asking the Tamiya acrylics or the
acrylics. The acrylics. Yeah, I've never used their LPs. It's funny, eh? Like, again, my first airbrush was a Badger 100, and then my wife surprises me. She buys me a harder Steenbeck Infinity.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm driving a Volkswagen, and she shows up with a 911 Carrera, right?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good weapon right there.
you can see it, right? Like, that's my homemade paint booth back there. That's a kitchen hood, and then some MDF, right? So that's my hood right back there.
It works.
And it works, but yeah, it was just, I didn't want to use lacquers because I was worried I was going to, so I just stuck to my Tamiya. It was safe. I could clean it easy. But now with the Mr. Hobby stuff, it is I really like that stuff. I'm buying every month. I'm buying a few more of it, and I've got some, like I showed you guys a little earlier, but right, I picked this up yesterday at our swap meet. And so I don't always like this. Well, that's right. We're not on a podcast. People can see me. So, so I want to do some colors that I don't feel like mixing from Tamiya, right? So I'll buy some more Mr. Hobby stuff to see what I can do with that. Yeah.
Big fan of the Mr. Hobby stuff.
Yep.
From their hobby-oriented rattle cans to their, the tubs that you mix with the unicorn tiers. Great stuff. Love it for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I just picked up a Gundam marker, right? You know how everyone's like, AK markers are a big thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I got some Japanese tanks I want to do, so I got a yellow to do the camo stripe for the Japanese tanks. So I've never used this before. Looking forward to that, right? Just easier than a brush, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I'm actually on my personal channel. I'm about to do a test. I've ordered some of the AK because I'm looking at the AK cost for 34 markers. Right around 100, 110 bucks, right? Depending on shipping and where you get it. Somewhere between 95 and 105 is what you're going to pay for these 34 markers. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, they're not that different than the acrylic markers you get at the Hobby Lobby. So I want to compare them and see if there's a difference in compared to $1 a piece compared to almost $3 a piece.
So I did that with the AK pencils. So I ended up going to Heritage Con a couple years ago, and I actually bought the entire pack of AK pencils, which is a good price, it's $70 for all of them. And I love using them. I really like using them in combination with oils. And I used to use gouache paint a while ago. I still use that. That's a new trend in the armor guys. AK's got a gouache line, but I like the AK pencils. But I went to the local Staples and I bought some Staedtler and Prismacolor, but one Prismacolor, but mostly Staedtler art pencils. Same thing, right? And they're the same. The Staedtler's about the same price, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending. But the thing I like about the AK is just the pigment color, right? I don't have to mix it. It's and you'll see that, I think, with the markers that the markers you buy in the store versus what AK produces. It's just the right color that you don't have to mix it, which again, golden age makes your life that much easier, right? You don't have to mix.
Yeah, and hobby oriented, right? So it's designed. Yeah. The colors are designed for the hobby.
It's probably richer in pigment. That's probably why it costs more too.
Yeah, and the Staedtler pencils are like that. So those artist pencils, they work. And like I do stuff like I'll sharpen it and I'll take the shavings and I'll make a wash out of it. I've started to do that with the stuff, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All my silver is done with Prismacolor silver because it comes out nice, right? So that's the experimenting side of it. And just
they make great shading when you're doing the weathering.
Yeah. And I'll do oils. I'll put a sepia down and then I'll go over top of it with like an earth tone and it just blends together. And then if you screw up, you clean up one, the other stays there. It gives it depth, right? Which is really nice.
Yeah, I have the Prismacolor pencils. I love those things. They work really good for me.
But for the guys out there in the chat, right, you got to be careful. Don't buy the Prismacolor that Walmart's got on sale for your kids in August for school, right? Those take it from me, those ain't the ones you want to buy.
Oh.
You got to go to the art store and buy the
art
3
store
times as
one.
expensive one. Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Looks like everybody's tuning out again. We normally don't go much out over an hour, but Frankie, here's an opportunity for you to make all your plugs. I know Marcy was asking earlier about where she could find you. I think Bruce handled that for you, but
We already connected. We are now besties.
oh, you and Marcy are besties?
Yeah,
Awesome.
we connected we're on the socials. We're traveling in the same elite circles.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I managed to get the Facebook page up there because it has all the links.
Yeah. So I
I
mean,
don't know why the other one didn't work, but hey.
So you can find me. Bruce mentioned it earlier. He had some great shots from my webpage that I forgot about. I post on Facebook and on Instagram as the Model Logger. So MODEL and then Logger LAAGER. That's where I put all my work, and then of course just me as Frank Donity on Facebook, Instagram. Model Insanity podcast on all the streaming platforms. We're available. We're at episode 30, just dropped. And we just started our YouTube channel, Model Insanity TV, where we've got some photo etch tutorials, some builds. We're visiting our local hobby shops and showcasing those on the channel. So
I want to watch that one.
Yeah, the one that Adams did. I just watched it today. The one that Adams did he did a really good job on that.
Yeah. So I got a hobby store here in London, Ontario called Neo Tokyo. I asked the owner, and he's like, "Yeah, come on in. It's a little different. It's anime, manga, and all the Gundam stuff. But this store is like 800 square feet with like 2,700 square feet of stuff crammed in there.
Right.
Like once one person's in, you got to line up because nobody can get past it, right? It's fantastic. So
wow, that's cool.
That is awesome. And of course, you can find the Discord on the Model Insanity Facebook page. I know I found it on the YouTube page, or not the YouTube. Yeah, the YouTube page, Facebook page.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out, guys. Guys and gals. There's a lot of people that go in there, get to learn a lot of new stuff and hang out with people.
You want to hang out with a bunch of modeling degenerates? Come join us.
And definitely peek in there this weekend with the Easter build, because they are going to have a lot of fun in there. We were very privileged last November to do the turkey shoot, and we had a blast. So go in there and check it out. Even if you ain't got nothing to build, just say hi and see what it's about.
Absolutely. Everyone's welcome.
If nothing else, you will be entertained. I promise.
Oh yeah, you will be entertained.
You may not want to, if Riv's in there, you may not want to have the kids around, but
well, you know what? We've always said it. We're not just about the hobby. We are trying to be entertaining, right? The subject of modeling it's fun for us, but come on, there's only so many things we can talk about. So we'll talk about it, but we also try to give you some entertainment. We have shenanigans. We cut each other because we're just 5 friends who are hanging around like we would do in real life. And busting chops and having a good time. So come join us and spend some time with us.
Absolutely.
Well, you want to go ahead and do who wants to go first on the sign-offs?
I'll go. Thanks again, everybody in the chat. We had another great night in the chat. It was very busy, very hard. Again, I want to say special thanks to Frank for coming on here, being a guest, educating all of us car guys on how to look and do some research on some armor and get out of our comfort zones. I definitely appreciate it. I'm definitely going to do more armor stuff. And then thanks to Mikey being back. That's awesome to have our host back, even though he's out there breaking bulldozers for a living. I mean, what the heck, you know?
Do what you got to do, right? Job security.
And of course, you can't forget our great producer right there. So thanks again, Bruce, for all you do. And I'm going to throw that back to Mikey.
All right, man. Well, I want to say I'm going to echo what Jason said. Thank you, Frank, for coming on. We appreciate you, my brother. Thank God that Bruce didn't caption or get a hold of that picture of you as a cowboy, because I don't know if I would have made it all the way through the show. He would have put it up there, but definitely want to give a big shout out to Frankie. Thanks to chat. Obviously, you guys have been rolling it tonight. Great comments. Give a shout out to our, the Insanity Model podcast and the Scale Model Car podcast, and everybody's individual channels. You can find me at Scale Model Outlaw, And other than that, guys, y'all be good, be safe, and keep on modeling. And we'll leave it to Mr. Bruce to take us out the door.
I'm always shoving everybody out the door. I don't know what is up with that.
See?
I want to thank everybody in the chat also because they have been rolling tonight. Love each and every one of you that comes into the chat every week after week. It's deeply appreciated.
Yep.
We enjoy the love that you guys show us. And make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. And also, I want to thank Frank for coming in. Awesome stuff, Frank. We appreciate you coming and taking the time to join us tonight.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And don't hang up.
My host, thank you, Mike. Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And the camera looks awesome.
Yeah, that's all I got. My What Did You Buy Wednesday is going to be pretty loaded next week. But Frankie, don't hang up. We'll do a little bit of behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
All right, guys.
We're hitting the big red button.
There's your big little thumbs up.